Now, if you've already looked at the Story Engine section of the software available through the main Dramatica desktop, or when you do look, you'll find that it's almost the inverse of what's going on here in the theme browser, and vice versa. In the Story Engine, you pick Goal and determine what subject matter will be the goal. You pick Main Character Problem and determine what subject matter will be the main character's problem. Here, you pick the subject matter and then determine whether it's going to be the problem or the goal. In this manner, there's an opportunity for both kinds of storytellers to get the most out of the Dramatica software. Here, you start with the topic and figure out how to use it in your story. In the Story Engine, you start with the structure and figure out what topics you want to plug into it. Clearly, there's more than one way to skin a cat or create a story structure in Dramatica. In fact, there's many, many ways. And as you look at the other features throughout Dramatica, you'll find out just how many opportunities there are for Dramatica to work with your style as a writer so you don't have to conform to it. A lot of redundancy that gets the same job done, but it's all to work with your style so you don't have to conform your style to the software. Before we leave this window, there's one final thing to look at. Down here where we clicked on Your Story, you can allow story form changes, meaning that it could either bring up just the story we've already created and show us the structure, or allow us to alter that structure. Or you can also select to show the signposts. Now, signposts and journeys, as explained in the plot progression area available through the main desktop, are the story points that are progressive in nature. They take you from the beginning to the middle to the end of your story, and all points in between. Some of those are structurally based, and some of those are storytelling decisions. But here, for example, if we choose Understanding, we might decide that Understanding is going to be the objective story signpost 1, 2, 3, or 4. In this case, do we want to have people start by understanding or ultimately arrive at an understanding? In other words, in this area here, in subject matter, you can make choices based on the order you want things to appear, and that will determine the underlying story form structure. So, by virtue of the entire chart of story elements, a periodic table of story elements, as it were, you can create the chemistry of your story just by making choices for how you want these things to appear in the guise of which story points. A lot of power, a lot of tools, and all designed for a particular kind of writer, just as all the features of Dramatica are.